Welcome to Lincoln Park Zoo. We are so excited you're here. Today at Stay Tuned to the Zoo, we are going to be talking all about enrichment. Now, enrichment, you may or may have not have heard this word before, but it's anything that encourages natural behaviors for the animals living at the zoo, encourages mental or physical exercise, or just provides a new experience for them to explore or enjoy at the zoo. Now, there are 5 different types of enrichment that we talk about at the zoo, but we're just going to focus on one of those today. We're going to spin a wheel to find out which one we'll be talking about today. Let's go. Mechanical enrichment. So mechanical enrichment is one of my favorite types of enrichment that the animals at Lincoln Park Zoo receive. Mechanical enrichment is anything that an animal can grab, hold on to, claw at, and explore. It's a tactile object. All over the map in front of me, you'll see different types of mechanical enrichment. Different animals, whether they are a different species or a different size, will get different types of mechanical enrichment. My favorite type of mechanical enrichment are boomer balls. Boomer balls are a large ball. They're given to different size animals at the zoo to encourage those natural behaviors. This is an example of a boomer ball that one of the predatory animals living here at Lincoln Park Zoo received. And if you look closely at the boomer ball, you'll see claw marks and teeth marks all over it. So for these predators that are going to be hunting prey in their native range, we want to encourage that natural behavior here at the zoo to make sure that they're healthy. Beside that is an example of a boomer ball that hasn't really been used yet. So you'll notice it's still nice and smooth. Boomer balls can also be given to non-predatory animals. Rhinos are another example of an animal that get boomer balls. They are not a predator, they're herbivores, they eat browse, but they use their really strong horn to move objects in their home. So they're given extra large boomer balls to manipulate or move around with their horn to encourage that natural behavior as well. Depending on the size of the animal or the strength of the animal, boomer balls will come in different shapes or sizes. Another type of mechanical enrichment that you might see at the zoo are these. They're just little wooden shapes and blocks and beads on a string, and this is given to an animal that not many people realize get mechanical enrichment at the zoo. Birds. I love birds, and we have many different habitats at the zoo that are home to birds. You might see these hanging up high in the trees or down low in the shrubs to encourage some curiosity from the birds that call the zoo home. Birds have really strong beaks and bills, so they'll manipulate all the different wooden objects using their bill to encourage that physical and mental exercise. A great example of mechanical enrichment. Now, the last type of mechanical enrichment that we have on our table in front of us is a pinata. Pinatas can come in all different shapes and sizes as well. And Lincoln Park Zoo is lucky to have a volunteer enrichment group that creates these beautiful looking pinatas. They can go to a variety of different animals at the zoo. This is an example of a log. It might have tricked you and looked like a real log. This is given to animals like gorillas in their home, might even have food placed on the inside, and just a great way to add something new, but also an object that they can move around, rip at with their teeth, or tear at with their hands. If a pinata this size is given to a smaller animal, like a small mammal, it might even be an object that they can climb over or climb through. So depending on the animal, there's lots of different ways to explore mechanical enrichment. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about mechanical enrichment and how our care staff provide it to a variety of animals here at Lincoln Park Zoo, and that the biggest benefits are encouraging and promoting those natural behaviors, encouraging some mental and physical exercise, and providing a new and novel experience for the animals that call our zoo home. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll see you next time.
So now that we learned about mechanical enrichment here at Lincoln Park Zoo, we're going to look at a couple of different things you can make at home for some of your animals at home to enrich them. The first thing I'm going to show you is called a tug toy that you can use with your maybe dog or cat at home. The first thing you're going to want to do is find a pair of scissors, an old t-shirt, and maybe a binder clip. And I'll show you what we're going to use that for in a moment. So once you have your t-shirt, cut it along the torso into long strips like this, and then cut it one more time at the end so that you can make one really long strip. So you're going to want 4 strips just like this, really long. Once you have your 4 long strips like this, hold them together and tie one really tight knot at one end. Once you have your knot good and tight, set that in the middle of your table and set your strips out in a plus or a cross pattern. Now the binder clip is useful to keep track of our number 1 strip that we're going to start with every single time we make our next pattern on here. And now we're ready to get started. What we're going to do is we're going to take strip number 1 and cross it over strip number 2. Strip number 2 is going to go over strip number 3. 3 will go over 4. And then the last strip is going to cross over and also go through that loop that we made originally. Once you have your strips sort of woven, pull them until they make a nice tight square knot. And pull it pretty tight because you want to make this hard for your animal to sort of tear apart. Once you've done that, you can reset your strips. All right, now we're going to make the next segment. Start with that one that we put the clip on. 1 over 2, 2 over 3, 3 over 4, and then 4 is going to cross over and go back through the loop again. Pull those until they're tight. And you'll have a good start to your Tug Toy here. You can see it's starting to take shape with your knots and your original knot. Eventually, what you'll end up with is something that looks like this. So you're going to have all your woven knots here, your knot you started with, and then you need to finish it off at the end with another really tight knot. And make sure you pull these really tight. And there you have a complete Tug Toy made out of an old t-shirt from maybe your closet or something. For additional things to make your animal maybe more excited about this, you can jam pieces of food in some of these spaces, or even put some scents on it that it might make it a little more interesting. And so just like we give enrichment to the animals in our care at Lincoln Park Zoo, this is something you can use to enrich your animal at home. Another way that we can make an enrichment item from things around the house is with some paper products. So the first thing you want to do is go around the house, look for things like boxes, maybe some tubes, newspaper, and then a little bit of maybe your pet's favorite food. So maybe it's something like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make what we call a puzzle box. And that's going to encourage your animal to forage and kind of dig through this box. So what we're going to do is use our creativity and just start putting some of our food into some of our other items here that we've collected, and then put them in the bigger box right here. So what we'll do is we'll put a few pieces of food in the small box. And I do already have some newspaper in here, just like this. Another thing you can do is take the tube and pinch one end so that it's closed up, and then take some more of your pieces of food and stick them in there, and close the other end just like this. Put that in the box, and then you can even put some pieces of food in something like a paper bag, and then just put some inside the box kind of loose on the bottom. I have a few other different sized tubes that I'll also throw in to make it a little bit harder to forage around, and then that's your puzzle box. So go ahead and either close this up or leave it open and let your pet explore. Now that we've discussed enrichment for animals at the zoo, animals in your care, can you think of anything that enriches our lives, like throwing a softball, maybe tossing a frisbee, or shooting some hoops? Thanks for joining. Stay tuned to the zoo. Subscribe to our channel for new videos every Tuesday and Thursday.